Pakistan cricket at its best. 1 minute down, next minute up.
Thanks very much, folks, for joining me once again. Saj Sadek here for Pak Passion, bringing you another exclusive interview. Gentleman who I've interviewed before, and it's always a pleasure speaking with him. He's played one test match for Pakistan, played 5 ODIs, 15-year first-class career where he gave some very good performances. He's the son of a Pakistan great, a Pakistan cricketing legend, Majid Khan, and since retiring from playing, he's been a regular in our on our television screens, familiar voice in the world of cricket commentary, the one and only Bazid Khan. Bazid, thanks very much for your time.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Bazid, PSL 10, 10th edition, which has crept up on us, and who would have thought that, would be celebrating 10th anniversary of PSL when at the start many people were doubting it.
Yeah, I remember the first season when it actually started, I got signed up for commentary on it, and we all thought that it might just be a one-off or might be a couple of seasons because it didn't seem as if it would grow this big. But once it came back to Pakistan, once that, I think it was the first time the final, what was, I think season 2 or season 3, the final was played in Lahore. Once that happened, then it sort of started to grow. And once it's been in Pakistan, well, obviously there's the connection with the fans and also the fact that everybody looks forward to the HPL PSL. And as you would expect, the phone doesn't stop ringing with demands for tickets. Sometimes I have to go to the extent of try and buying tickets because people expect all the time that I'll have tickets.
So did everybody hear that if you want tickets for the PSL and you can't get them, Bazid's your man?
Yeah, if they haven't heard that, I think they're probably living under a rock because I feel that all of Islamabad just generally messages and phones me all the time about tickets when the PSL starts.
Bazid, one of the main sort of plans and hopes for PSL was for it to produce white ball cricketers for Pakistan, which to a certain extent it has done. But I don't want to be too critical, but over the last sort of couple of seasons, I don't think those players have actually shone and developed into international cricketers that we hoped for from each PSL. Maybe we were spoiled in the earlier editions.
I think it's a bit of a difficult question because I normally say that, like for instance, an IPL, it's a branch of the tree. PSL should be the branch of the tree. It shouldn't be the end all. So yeah, the first couple of editions, you got players in it because there's this new white ball phenomena, but other teams also have obviously they've got their own leagues and they've got their systems in place. So first class cricket and domestic cricket, and then to top it off you have a PSL. That's the making of a player. Nowadays Pakistan's first class, well, it hasn't had a structure for forever. So the problem that now arises is, yes, you just look at PSL and you look at players that perform in PSL, but actual fact, it's just a branch, and the structure even for the players is not there. The base isn't there to be able to expand yourself. Everybody gives the example of IPL, but remember IPL with their Ranji Trophy and with their first class cricket, which has been there for what now I'm thinking about maybe 80 to 90 years maybe, and that hasn't changed, and that's the bond that unifies the players and makes them the players that they are. Even with England, when Livingston, regarded as one of the hardest hitters of the cricket ball and regarded as one of the big players in white ball cricket, his best years when he started off was when he was playing all three formats, as he was playing county cricket and list A cricket and T20 cricket. Nowadays, the schedule is such that it becomes difficult. But I think the expectation of PSL to produce T20 cricketers in, say, a tournament which happens once a year, we also expect too much from it because the other 11 months, the player has to develop to bowl. So I give this example to plenty of people. So if you want to bowl 4 overs, you need to be actually practicing for 10 or playing in a game where you're bowling 10. If you want to bowl 10 overs, then you need to be bowling 15, 20 overs a day. So even with that, even with the concept of a white ball cricketer, I think the other elements are so valid. So yes, we think that maybe the PSL has digressed or we're not producing that many players, but the overall structure and the overall place that Pakistan is at, I think Pakistan now is a sort of a second tier team, and we've fallen behind all the big teams. So the problem lies there rather than just going on PSL. PSL, for what it's worth, it does its job. It makes money. It's sort of a festival that's created, and I think it's the only profitable sort of tournament or thing that PCB actually do have. And not to get too down on this, but there's the rumors about the next cycle in the ICC, the media cycle, the right cycle, and there's been a big merger between Star and Geo, and so there's not many players in the market now. The previous cycle, Star bid a lot for broadcast rights, and the expectation is that the broadcast rights will fall dramatically, and that will affect Pakistan in particular. Pakistan does not produce enough money on their own, as in domestically or even through PSL. PSL is your only product that produces money, but financially there'll be a strain. 2028, things will. The rumor is that things will start to change, and if that happens, then there is a problem. We look at PSL as, yes, they're not producing players, but it does also the benefit of PSL, as do all leagues, the benefit is financially, and they do financially benefit the host country.
Regarding what you said there, one of the points that you mentioned, do you think selectors and the Pakistan Cricket Board put too much emphasis on PSL performances? We see players who perform, in half a tournament, they do well. And suddenly they're playing for Pakistan in T20 format, they're selected for the ODI format, and then next thing you see them playing Test cricket.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, HPL PSL is the premier T20 domestic tournament for Pakistan. So if somebody performs there, yes, you have an eye on him. But the problem with Pakistan, with any format, is you've got to have a thumb rule that, look, if a guy is performing in first class cricket, let him perform for at least 3 years before you make a selection on him. If a guy, even in list A cricket, let him perform for 3 years. I think maybe fast bowlers, you sort of fast track them if somebody's got express pace, but otherwise the development of the players should be such. So PSL, because there's so many eyeballs on it, and suddenly some player or any player who gets runs in PSL or gets wickets in PSL, everybody, social media, everybody's talking about it, and it's almost becomes the flavor of the month, and you select the team on that flavor of the month. It is a problem, and we've seen time and time again. It's not only just T20, but even Test cricket, even one-day cricket. Maybe one tournament, maybe half a tournament, maybe an innings that has been highlighted because it's been shown on television. It has happened. I still think that you look at a player. Yes, he's a very good player. You look at his development, but you need to look at him for at least 3 years where he's consistently performing. Yes, you can have a bad season, but at least you give him that time so that the player can develop. I think it's harsh on the player as well. You pick him up, and then you, when you disregard him, and actually 4 or 5 years down the line when he's matured, you think, no, we tried him, we tested him, we don't want him back. So it's a bit harsh on the player as well. I think the selection policy and it's just the way that I think Pakistan does work. They hype up when things get good. They're brilliant. They hype them up, and once they don't go well, then they sort of really disregard everyone. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I might be wrong, but my way of thinking would be 3 years minimum.
What do you make of the Ali Tareen versus Salman Iqbal discussion? Let's call it a discussion or disagreement. I mean, Ali, we know, has been critical of the PSL and sort of the development of PSL, whereas Salman Iqbal has said, we should be proud of what the PSL has done. It's our product, etc.
I think that you should be proud about HPL PSL because nobody gave it a chance at the start, and the way that it has developed, you still think it could develop further, but the way that it has developed is the one thing that actually has developed in Pakistan cricket. The timing of all that I find a bit odd because it's the 10th season and then it's almost the last season before you get two more teams and rebidding and stuff. So it doesn't seem right that you actually time it right before this season. Now you have board meetings, you've all that to figure things out, and I think the franchises, the owners have done a lot for Pakistan cricket. I think to be able to bear losses and actually get these teams into PSL and again get a following, that there's a lot of you should thank them for that. But I just feel that maybe there are a few points that Ali Tareen is making which might be true, but I just feel that the timing is all wrong because the PSL is right about to start and it is the final season, and if you've got so many grudges, this should have been discussed earlier. Ali Tareen has not been he's been an owner for a while now, and these discussions should be done in those meetings, and then if you're not happy with it, then you always have the option of stepping away. So although I feel that there must be a lot of things that Ali Tareen is saying which might well be true, but I just feel that the timing is all wrong. And Salman Al Iqbal also, what he's putting across is that we have sort of built up PSL and right at the very end. So maybe next year these guys relinquish their team. So right at the very end, with the 10th year and with the tournament starting, it just sours the whole thing because week 10 this battle started a week 10 days ago, and it's right at sort of when the first ball's just about to be delivered.
Two more teams, Bazid, in the PSL. It can only be a good thing, and I've heard some rumours that you might be one of the new team's owners.
I wish at that cash flow. Yeah, Saj, if we partner up, maybe with your podcast, we can build a team there.
I'll put £50 in from my side, Bazid.
And a collection with the cap going around. Yeah, there's obviously there's a lot of interest with two more teams, but you also have to look at which teams will come through, and also the fact that after the 10th season, is this now the time to actually look at how PSL should actually function? Yes, we've had the draft system for quite a while. Is there a time for auction? Is there a time for now to just maybe build it more further? The two teams will obviously excite people. Yeah, there's so many people who want, say, somebody wants Sialkot, somebody wants Faisla, but that remains to be seen. But also there should be now come a time where you actually have home and away games in the PSL. Unfortunately, we've not had a game in Peshawar and Quetta for whatever reasons. It's been difficult. But the new teams should also be able to have a home and away game. It just will add more flavor. It will also engage the local population more. Obviously, when Multan plays in Multan, you can see the stadium's always packed. So similarly, I'm just give me an example. So if say Sialkot comes, if Sialkot can get a stadium together and they play their home games in Sialkot, I don't think that any game will not be house full. I think that I feel that there are a couple of steps that need to be sort of further HPL, PSL or PSL, further PSL with maybe in auction. And maybe also with these adding a few more venues, which will enhance. Also, the viewing will be enhanced because of different pitches, different grounds. and also it'll give the teams a little more support. So I wish that Quetta get their home matches in Quetta, and Peshawar get their home matches in Peshawar. That, for me, that seems like the next step.
Bazid, regarding viewing, that was going to be my next question, actually. With Pakistan, the national team doing so poorly, and there's a lot of disappointment and disgruntlement amongst Pakistani cricket lovers. Do you think that'll have an impact on the turnout for fans at the PSL and maybe even viewing figures?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it all boils down to how well your team is doing, and because we've had a poor season, and also we had the Champions Trophy in Pakistan, and it didn't go well. So there will be that effect. There will be people who will say, "Oh, we don't it will not have that excitement of the HPL PSL." Imagine that if Pakistan have got into the Champions Trophy final, or if they got this, even if they'd won it, there would have been such a following, or such a high demand from people trying to watch it. And also, there's been so much cricket played, and we had the Champions Trophy, which was disappointing. Then we went to New Zealand, and that, I think, New Zealand has really broken a lot of passionate followers who just could not bear, because there was an expectation. I fail to remember such a series where there's an expectation that Pakistan will lose this game, or will lose so fans normally say, no, maybe they'll win this, or maybe they'll do better in this. But there was an overall sort of a thinking, or whoever you talk to would just say, no, they're not going to win anything. And I think that effect will also carry into PSL. I think that there will be an element of that, but hopefully if you get a few good games to start off with, and it's a festive atmosphere, then I think that might be overrun. But yeah, I feel that because the Pakistan team is on such a low ebb, there will be a drop in viewership.
You and I have watched a lot of Pakistan cricket over the years, Bazid, and there's always ups and downs, every team, every sport. But this last 12, 18 months feels different, Bazid. Everything from off the field, on the field, the coaches, the captaincy, the players, the performances. It's a real low point in Pakistan cricket, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's all come crashing down. Everything is now in front of you, because you don't have a stable domestic cricket. You don't have a stable structure, and for so long it was almost a miracle that we were able to perform and be at that level against top teams. But I think with T20 cricket, and also with the expansion of so much cricket being played, you need, across formats, you need a lot more players to play to be a good team. So you need T20 players, you need one-day players, and you need test match cricket players, and then you factor in injuries. You need a base of a lot more players to be able to be one of those sides who can compete at top level. And the other sides have also sort of widened the gap a lot. Now we think everything has to go in our favor to win a game of cricket. But if just one thing doesn't go in our favor, we cannot get over the line. But the elements sort of pointed to this for a long time, but finally it's now, obviously when it hits you, it sort of hurts a lot more. But the elements was pointing to this, because you weren't producing enough players. Obviously you don't have a stable domestic structure where every sport in the world is played at. Even football, if you don't have clubs who are supporting football, the locality will suffer. So Pakistan has never had that system, and maybe now is the time that they they invest in that. But it doesn't seem so. And even if they invest right now, it will take 5-6 years. If you get a proper system in place, it will take 5-6 years for Pakistan to come back into the reckoning. And the cracks were there. They would be just tapered over with a few good performances. But now, with these teams, with the margins of the losses that you get, it just shows that the teams are so far ahead of you, even at home and away games. And everybody now just comes in and artificially wants to change, artificially do something and bring it all back. It cannot happen. It just cannot. And then whoever has a magic wand, I think he should come in and then fix it. But unless and until they sort out the domestic structure, they decentralize it, they let people work in that structure. At the moment, because it's all centralized, everybody is working for the PCB. So you're actually handicapping yourself as well, because say, for instance, I'm a coach in Karachi, and I don't want to coach in Karachi anymore. So I resign. Basically, I'm resigning from all of Pakistan cricket, because my resignation is going to the PCB. So once you don't decentralize it, you won't find people who are able to make a difference. There's a big talking point on the medical aspect of it. So Pakistani player gets injured, and once after injury he comes back, he's almost never the same. The drop in form is so apparent. Other countries, somebody get injured, he comes back, and if he's not the same, he's better. But that also, if you decentralize it, and some sort of passionate or crazy person wants that, okay, in my city or my first class team, I want the best medical facilities, that could happen. But right now you can't, because everything has to go to the PCB, and even with sponsorship. So if Saj and I want to sponsor, say Lahore, we cannot sponsor Lahore, because we have to sponsor PCB, who then in turn will distribute the money. So there's a disconnect there. So I don't know if you can carry on like this. I guess you can, but I don't see a lot of. I myself don't see Pakistan getting to the levels that say in India, Australia, New Zealand, even to some extent South Africa or England have achieved. I think that they're falling behind, and at the moment nobody has an answer.
The gap is widening though, Bazid, and what you
Absolutely.
said there is an interesting point, that it might take 5-6 years for that gap to close. Before that gap to close, Bazid, we need the right people leading Pakistan cricket. We need to stop this revolving door. We need to stop these constant changes. We need to have stability, surely.
Yeah, I said this on one TV show. If you have a structure in place, if you have, if say Australia, say England, people. So I don't know. I cannot on top of my mind tell you who the chairman of the ECB is, or even for that matter, I know Rob Key is director of cricket, but I don't know who the chairman is. Once you have a structure in place, it doesn't matter who the chairman or the top officials are, because things below are flowing. The problem in Pakistan is that because the chairman is appointed, and I mean, obviously whoever comes, I'm not questioning their intentions. I'm not saying that they come and mess up things, but they actually have to start from scratch. And also the fact that there is no sort of relevant structure in place, and the chairman of the cricket board is a very sought after job. Everybody wants to be chairman of the cricket board. Now, how will you get stability? If I'm made chairman right now in this present scenario, I will try and change things up. Whatever system working or not, that is besides the point. I'll want to try and do something different so that I come in the limelight. And that's all the directors too, the directors that get appointed at the PCB. If they don't do something out of the ordinary, they will not get recognized. And once you go looking for that sort of glory with a magic wand or a glory, I'll do this and things will get in place. It doesn't occur that way. So don't get me wrong. I've said this before. Once I think Pakistan cricket will improve or get better once the job of the PCB chairman is not as sought after. It's not. I'm not saying that it's a bad job, or I'm being negative at all. I'm just saying that once you have a system in place and the chairman just comes and looks after the administration and does not have that pressure of actually looking at grade 2 domestic cricket and also international cricket, and also I think there's talent hunts. So you cannot do that, because that is just too much. Once the chairman's job is not as sort of appealing, because everybody else underneath is doing their job and they're getting recognition, and every coach and every city, every first class team has their own system in place, that's when Pakistan cricket will actually start going in the right direction. Right now, we've been since 1952. We've never had a situation where sort of even administration. So, for instance, if I want to be CEO, I cannot be with a CV. I cannot be a CEO of PCB, because where will I work to actually build my CV? I can work in a corporate firm, which doesn't have anything to do with sport, but I don't have any outlet other than that to actually become tick boxes on my CV. So I give this example of Wasim Khan. Wasim Khan, when he was made PCB CEO, I think he was the only person who had if you applied for a job, you give your CV. He probably had the CV worthwhile enough, or with the experience enough of actually having done stuff in sport. In Pakistan, it is just as impossible. Even if I want to, it's not possible, because I don't have an avenue. I cannot go and become a CEO of, say, Islamabad Cricket Association, because there's that job doesn't exist, or Islamabad Cricket Association doesn't run itself. So it's not only hampers cricket development, but the major part of Pakistan cricket also is administration. With every sport, administration is so hampered that it now has sort of come crashing down.
And finally, Bazid, back to the PSL. I interviewed David Weiser recently and asked him which team he thought would win PSL 10. And I think during the interview, he ended up naming all 6 teams could win it. So, and it looks that way, doesn't it? I mean, the teams the quality of, especially the overseas players this time around, and the homegrown talent looks pretty good. So all pretty evenly matched. Who do you think is the standout squad?
That's this time around, as David Weiser and yourself have discovered or deciphered, that the teams are very evenly matched. You always have to look at Islamabad United with just the way that they play, because once they get onto a run, they're very hard to stop because of the way that they play T20 cricket. But with the clarity, I think, basically with the clarity of the IPL and PSL running side by side, I think you had more players, or you could choose players better, because you had clarity that no, he's not going to go away to the IPL, which is starting, or you won't be stopped from playing PSL, and most players who've not been picked in the IPL would want to play PSL. I think that also had an effect. But yeah, this time around, the two teams which last time around. So Karachi or Quetta were on a downward trend. They've changed path, which is very interesting because they've changed captains, they've changed players a lot. So that makes them teams to watch out for, because we at the moment we don't know how they'll play. But yeah, it's very, very even. A bit biased, but I would say, if you sort of nail me down and say you have to choose one team, I think one team that can get on a run and then become unstoppable is Islamabad United. But it is so close this time around. It'd be interesting how these teams start, but you're absolutely right. There's very little in terms of the squads of all 6 franchises.
Bazid, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Always forthright and interesting views, and it should be a fantastic PSL 10. And enjoy the commentary and enjoy the tournament. Thank you very much.
Thank you.